In today's episode, we are back in the Europa League against the mystery opponent, which will be revealed shortly. And we will also be facing off against Bournemouth as we look to continue our Premier League form. Let's see what happens in today's episode. Welcome back to Leeds United, pride of Yorkshire. So in the last couple of episodes, we played off against Manchester City and Liverpool. Unfortunately, didn't play very well and suffered 2 defeats. We then went through transfer deadline day and showed you all the players that we brought in and the players that were released as we move our squad around, preparing for our run-in in both the Premier League and the Europa League. So in today's episode, we have the mystery opponent, which will be revealed in a moment. We also face off against Bournemouth as we look to continue our run for the top 4 in the Premier League. So let's show you what's happened since you've been away. In terms of the schedule, going back to that Liverpool game, the very next game was against Arsenal. We had a convincing 3-0 win. We turned up at home and played some outstanding football. Goals from Sesko and 2 from Daniel James were enough for us to claim 3 points against Arsenal. We then played them in a double header by playing at Ellen Road, and we rotated the squad, didn't play very well. A 1-0 loss really wasn't the worst of things that could happen. We did have an equaliser disallowed for offside, but a 1-0 loss means we are out of the FA Cup, and as we have other commitments, I'm not too fussed about that. The board, on the other hand, were not impressed. We then played Southampton in the league, took 3 points by going down south. We played pretty well in this game, could have had a lot of goals. Instead, we won 1-0, Lufc scoring after 78 minutes. We then played Nottingham Forest at Ellen Road, and we won 2-0 in that game. Again, absolutely blowing Nottingham Forest away. We were 2-0 up after 64 minutes through goals from Rafinha and Adeyemi. We then, in the last game, played West Ham, went to London and absolutely smashed them. We played some scintillating football. Brandt, Sesko and Ali Akman, with the cheekiest of lobs over the goalkeeper from about 20 yards, sealed 3 points as we went back to Ellen Road happy. So, looking at today's episode, the mystery opponent that we are playing in the Europa League is Dynamo Kiev. They will be visiting Ellen Road in the first game, and then we will have Bournemouth coming up to visit us at Ellen Road in the second game. So a quick look at the competitions before we jump into today's first game. You can see we are now sat 4th in the table on 59 points. We are only 4 points behind Man City, although that gap to the top 2 is getting wider and wider. Liverpool are in formidable form in this game, 76 points from 27 games. They have lost only once all season. So a gap below us is forming of 6 points to Chelsea, and then an even bigger gap of 14 points to Newcastle, which means we are looking pretty safe, I think, in terms of a European place for the second season in a row. If the form continues the way we are going, I hope we can just look up and not down. So let's play the first game in the Europa League, and then we'll get back into the Premier League action after that. Okay, so with a few restrictions in place of squad registration with homegrown players and certain other things, we have managed to reshuffle the pack a little bit for the Europa League. So today's lineup is going to be Meslier in goal, Firpo, Woba, Llorente and Manea, Bentancur and Phillips, James, Brandt and Rafinha, and Sesko up top. Trying to apply some pressure now, and we've got a throw in on the right hand side. Manea throws it to Brandt. He cuts inside. Could have a go from here. He does. He places the ball left footed. It was going in the far post, gets a deflection, ends up beating the goalkeeper who's already committed. And whether it's an own goal or it's Brandt's goal, it doesn't matter. We have taken a 1-0 lead after 12 minutes. So he controls the ball well, turns inside his man, opens his body out to shoot, and the defender, with his back to the ball, sticks his foot out, diverts it past the goalkeeper, and we have a 1-0 lead. A throw in again down here, Manea to Brandt once again. Manea gets the ball, swings it in. It's dealt with by the defenders, but only as far as Bentancur. Plays it to Firpo. Firpo has a shot left-footed from the edge of the box. He smashes it in for his second goal of the season. And what a finish that is from Firpo. I didn't really know he had that in his locker. He sets it up. as the ball comes out from the corner, Bentancur to Firpo. He sets it up, and then as soon as he shifts his weight to his standing leg, you just know he's swinging for a strike. Beats the goalkeeper. It's 2-0. In at half time then, and we are 2-0 up. A completely convincing first half where we have restricted our opposition to nothing. They have had 62% of the possession, but they haven't had a shot. They haven't had anything in terms of chances. We have played them really well in terms of containing the game. So let's hope we just continue that form into the second half. Okay, a throw-in again from Manao. I think every highlight so far has started with a throw-in. And the ball has been crossed in. It's ended up in the net. Rafinha has scored. Ref's got his finger to his ear, but I don't even think it's going to go to VAR because there was people on the line. So let's have a little look at this and break this down. So the throw-in had come in on the right-hand side. It goes from Manao to Brandt, who beats his man, crosses it in. Junior Firpo has the header. The defender actually taps it into the path of Rafinha, and he just smashes it into the net. What a great finish that is from Rafinha. 76 minutes on the clock then. We're going to make a few changes here as we are comfortably in control of the game. With both of our central midfielders on a booking, we're going to bring Diawara on. I'm going to bring Thiago Thomas on as well for Daniel James, who has picked up an injury. And I think I'm going to give Joe Gelhardt a go up front, as he hasn't yet got any first team minutes. So we'll see how he does on the field. Corner kick then, and Rafinha is going to swing this one in. He swings it to the near post in towards Woba, but it gets cleared away. Phillips picks it up, plays it back to Rafinha. He has a strike, it hits the post, comes back to him. He was so surprised it come back to him. It just hit his legs, and then the ball has gone out for a corner. So Rafinha again to swing it in. Again looks for the near post, but again it is dealt with by the defenders. And Phillips puts it out for a throw-in. A free kick then, and Rafinha plays it to Phillips. He plays it back to Diawara. He's going to try and beat his man, but plays it to Llorente. Back to Diawara. To Brandt. Llorente again. It's a nice interchange of play here. Need to get it across the pitch though, really, because it's all getting tight down here. Woba with the cross straight into the path of Phillips. And Calvin Phillips smashes home goal number 4 as he took it superbly. And then as soon as the goalkeeper started to dive, you knew he was going to place it in the corner. So the interchange of play was good. Llorente out to Woba. 2 centre-backs out on the left-hand touchline is a little bit strange, but hey-ho. Ball over the top to Phillips, and it's 4-0. Game over then, 4-0, convincing. Absolutely convincing. We have had 31 shots, 15 on target, and a restricted Kiev to absolutely nothing. The strange thing about this, though, is we've had 39% of the possession and been absolutely ruthless with it. So that is the perfect way to set up a Europa League first leg. Let's jump forwards and see if we can do the same thing to Bournemouth as we continue on looking for a top 4 finish in the Premier League. After that convincing 4-0 win then, we are going to look to push on now as we play against Bournemouth. A few changes in the lineup as we are going to go with Meslier in goal. Woba's going to get a game at left back just to cover because Firpo is a little bit tired. Ahmed Hodzic, Llorente and Manea are the back 4. You've got Adams and Bentancur with Brandt, Puig and Rafinha, and Sesko retains his place at the top of the pitch. So let's see if we can continue this ball rolling as we play Bournemouth. A free kick then for Bournemouth up first. Christie swings it into the box and Milivojevic has actually scored. So we find ourselves 1-0 down after 9 minutes, and that wasn't what I was expecting at all. A little bit shocked. Christie with the free kick, he beats the man to the near post, and Meslier cannot keep that out. So, bit of a turn up for the books. We're going to have a corner then as Bentancur is going to swing this in. Aims it at the near post, and there is Ahmed Hodzic using all of his height advantage against the defender, and he heads it in as we draw level after 15 minutes. Brilliant piece of play here as the delivery comes in. Bentancur puts it right where he wants it, and Ahmed Hodzic sticks his head out, heads it down into the empty net. A throw in then with Woba on the left-hand side, plays it to Puig, gets the ball back and plays it to Adams. Back to Ahmed Hodzic, who plays it to Adams. Puig, Adams, plays it through to Brandt. He then gets brought down by Kouyaté. this is going to be a penalty all day long, surely. It said at the bottom it looked quite harsh, but it looked quite convincing from where I was. He's knocked the ball past him. Okay, it might have been going out of play, but he brought the man down. Rafinha is going to step up and take this penalty to hopefully give us a lead. 21 minutes on the clock. He runs up, smashes the ball, but Travers in goal makes the save. Rafinha gets back on it, and that is a bit of a wasted opportunity there. Free kick then for Bournemouth. Play it forwards to Milivojevic. Grant forwards. Woba cuts it out. Ahmed Hodzic plays it to Adams. Puig gets on the ball, plays it back to Llorente, knocking it around quite nicely as Manea smashes it forward for Sesko, brings it down. He hammers it home. What a goal that is. Although the referee is now going to look at VAR. This one is probably going to come back. No, goal awarded, and we have taken a 2-1 lead. So Puig plays it to Llorente, who plays it out to Manea. First time, smash ball forward. Sesko with the control. Hits it hard and low. Goalkeeper, really. Should have been doing better with that, but we don't care. It's 2-1 after 26 minutes. And straight from the kickoff, we're going again. Duffy with the ball, plays it to Christie. Plays it out to Kelly. Anthony gets it. They're knocking it around quite nice. We are closing them down quite well. But Milivojevic gets it. Plays it to Grant, to Lerma. They play the ball out to Abdul Kadir. Tackle there was terrible from Woba. Lets him inside. He's into the penalty area. Tries the place shot and Meslier makes a great save. Corner kick again then. Bentancur with the ball. Swings it in. Llorente at the near post this time. Doesn't really get anything on it. Puig then plays it to Adams. Tries to find Bentancur. And Bournemouth smash it away. Manea is going to pick it up and bring it back forwards as he plays it to Puig. Puig finds Rafinha in space. He now can either cross it in or he stops and turns back. Finds Bentancur, who finds Julian Brandt. Julian Brandt scores his 5th goal of the season. And what an impact he's making following that bargain transfer from Borussia Dortmund. So, great bit of play. Puig finds the space. Rafinha runs it all the way to the line. Cuts it back, stops short. Bentancur with the ball. And Brandt smashes it into the top corner to give us a 3-1 lead in the first half. Another piece of play here as we move the ball forwards. Llorente to Bentancur. Bentancur over the top for Brandt. He controls it. Gone to ground again. Is this another penalty? This one looks less of a penalty than the first one did, but Brandt is causing all kinds of trouble down that left-hand side. And the referee has awarded another penalty. Rafinha is going to step up and take it again. We did this earlier on in the series. We're not going to shy away from letting Rafinha take these. He steps up this time, smashes it in the bottom corner, and makes it 4-1 after 42 minutes. So it seems that Bournemouth might have made a mistake by scoring early because all it seemed to do was wake us up, and we have been in absolute brilliant form since that moment. Places this one in the bottom corner, unlike the last one. It's 4-1. Corner then, and Rafinha swings it in, going for the near post. This one is, well, it was Sesko with the header, but it's a goal kick. And that leads us straight into half time. So 4-1. We have had 6 shots, scored 4 goals. We have been clinical today. Again, not having much of the ball. We only have 38% of possession. So maybe that's something that needs to be looked at. But if we're scoring 4 goals every time we don't have the ball, I'm not too fussed. So let's jump into the second half and see if we can carry on this great form. Throwing them for Bournemouth down the right-hand side. Play it to Abdul Kadir. Plays it back to Lerma. It's to Koyate. Forwards again to Lerma. Into Grant. To Christie. And Anthony is in behind. The shot, though, trickles into the hands of Meslier. And nothing happens. 60 minutes on the clock, as usual. As you know by now. Tinker around on the 60th minute. So we are going to bring Thiago Thomas on. And we are also going to give Karim Adeyemi a chance up top. So, half an hour of the game left to go. Let's see what happens in the rest of the game. Ball then from Meslier to Ahmed Hodzic. Plays it to Woba. He looks to bring the ball forwards and plays it forwards to Adeyemi, but it's cut out. Instead, though, Manea gets it, and Bentancur is on the ball to Adams, to Ricky Puig. He gets brought down in the middle of the park. That must be dangerous. The referee says it was a 2-footed challenge, and Luka Milivojevic is off. Bentancur with the resulting free kick plays it forward straight into the hand of Travers in goal. So 10 against 11 for the last 5 minutes. Let's see what happens when they release this ball. Travers lumps it forwards. Grant is actually in. He's beaten Ahmed Odzic, and he's also beaten the frame of the goal as he smashes it into the crowd. That's it then, another game done, full time, and we are 4-1 winners today against Bournemouth. We were absolutely brilliant in the first half. Didn't really need to do too much in the second half as we had got the 3 points wrapped up at half time. Still didn't really have too much of the ball all throughout the game, only 40%, but the shots and the chances that we did create, we were clinical. So 3 more points on the board. Let's have a little look at the Premier League table and where we are going to be coming back in the next episode. After 2 highly successful games, we are sitting pretty in the Premier League as well as in command of the first leg of our Europa League game. So looking at the league table, let's jump into the advanced view, shall we call it, in the Premier League. So sat 4th in the table, 3 points behind Manchester United, and we now have a nice gap to Chelsea behind us. Could this be the season we finally crack the top 4? Fingers crossed. Our running suggests that we have a few bumps in the road to come, but a nice easy path to the end of the season. So let's have a look at what is ahead. So we play Leicester and then Man United next, before games against Fulham, Everton, Tottenham, Brighton, Wolves, Norwich and Brentford. In amongst that, we do have a European Cup quarter-final. Is that just a one-legged game then? Was Kiev just a one-legged game? Okay, so maybe it's listing the Euro Cup second knockout round as a single leg game. So I take it we've progressed. So we still have a European Cup quarter final to come, as well as a slightly easier running than probably some of our opponents. So fingers crossed, if we continue our great form, we could get this 4th place spot. So I think the next game we will come back for will be Everton and Tottenham. We will then have a nice little break between Brighton, Wolves and Villa, and then come back for the final 2 games of the season to see how we get on in our pursuit of a top 4 place. So then that's another episode done. And in this episode, we had 3 points in the Premier League as well as a win in the Europa League. And that all sets up nicely for a run to the end of the season. So a couple of episodes left, maybe play a Europa League game in there as well. But it looks like we are going to be coming back for Everton and Tottenham next, before we then show you what happens at the end of the season. If we continue our Europa League run, we may also throw in a semi-final if we get to one, and possibly the final. So if you're at this point of the episode and you're enjoying the content and still watching, please don't forget to hit that like and subscribe to help the channel out. If you've done that already though, I'm going to wrap this one up and I will see you on the next episode, where we will take on Everton and Tottenham.